everyone. Hope you are doing great. Today, the topic which I am going to cover is about retail budget. So, when we talk about budget, the very first thing that comes to our mind is, of course, the cash or money. Every individual manages their own budget in day to day life. Budget varies from person to person based on the requirement and the cash which an individual have. Budget in simple terms is managing your cash. When you buy a house, you have a budget. When you buy a car, you have a budget. When you shop, you have a budget. Budget depends upon the ask and individual wallet situation. If I have to further break this down, understand on the point that if you have more cash against the required budget, you are in a good situation and vice versa. And the same logic gets applies to any companies. So budget is all about the how you manage your cash, the finance, saving, the fund, expense, and everything. So if I have to just phrase this out in a proper definition, then financial budget is a very strong determinant of stability of the company. And a positive financial budget means good business and healthy organization, while the negative financial budget indicates probable issues. It's all about predicting the income and expense of the business on long term and short term basis. Right projection of cash flow helps the business to achieve its target in the right way. The organization generally prepares a financial budget to manage the cash flow in a better way. A very good example of cash flow budget would be the current pandemic situation. We have seen that most of the big renowned brand could not sail through this situation. The primary reason for such a situation is company's expenditure was more than the revenue. No cash reserve for worst scenario like this, as a result of which we have seen a massive job loss, resource cut, company shut down. Thus, it's very important for any company to understand their cash flow situation on a very periodical basis. Companies are always in a race to get the maximum customer by attracting them with some liquidity offers. This impacts bottom line if you do not have a high margin product. If you do not generate more cash by even after giving such offers, then your top line and bottom line both are impacted. And that's the worst situation to be in. We'll talk about the operational budget. So operational budget in every organization varies. So right now, just to explain you, I have put in this operational budget into 5 different buckets, which I will cover right now. Okay, so we will start with sales budget. Well, sales budget, it's the backbone of the organization, or it's also known as the nerve center for any business or organization. While making financial budget, sales budget is the main factor or the prime factor because that gives you a forecasted sales goal basis that company can plan a lot of other things for a given period of time. So there are various factors which impact sales budget, but mainly for now we will focus on two factors: sales revenue and store expense. Well, sales revenue is the sales expectations set by the management for a particular period. If the company is able to achieve its budgeted sales revenue, then cash flow situation would definitely be healthy. Next, store expense. Just like we have target for sales, we also need to focus on store expenses like rent, electricity, staff, etc. This should be as per budget. If your store expenses are controlled or as per budget and budgeted sales is achieved, then store and organization both would be profitable. See, you might be getting a target from your operations team on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. So there are various factors involved while making a target for the store or for the organization. The factor could be your past trend or past history, how the store has performed in this period month or in this festive time. So there are always historical data to support, and basis those factors, sales revenue or the budget can be planned. But for any given point of time, your revenue should always be higher than your store expenses. If your revenues are lower than your store expenses, then survival for the store and organization would be difficult. As a simple understanding, like if your expenses are more than your earning, then you can't survive. You can survive for a maybe a 2 or 3 months or based on your saving, but for a longer period of time it's very difficult to survive. So store, when you're managing a store, you need to look after the store P&L. You should always focus on achieving the store target, because at any given point of time, as I said, you cannot compromise on store revenue, because the moment it goes down, then your store against your store expense, the survival of that particular store would be at stake. So the next one is production budget. Well, a production budget is a financial plan that tells us the number of units to be manufactured during a period. The two most important parameters that need to be considered while making a production budget is stock requirement and cost and MRP. Well, as we discussed about the sales budget generally forms the basis for the preparation of the production budget. Once the sales budget is finalized, production manager to estimate how many units they will need to produce. So production budget is very useful in determining the cost of production, which in turn will decide the price of the product. So it's a responsibility of production manager to ensure both the things, that is stock requirement to achieve sales number or top line, and cost of production to get a better margin and strengthen the bottom line. So every company will focus on these two parameters, which is the stock requirement and cost and MRP. Why these are important? Because you need to have a proper stock cover to achieve your sales number, so that a company can achieve their top line and the forecasted sales goals are achieved, while at the same time company need to focus on the cost of production, so that they also get a healthy bottom line or the profit by selling the product. So every company will have a sustained margin target from the top management. Like it varies from company to company, like some will have 50%, some will have 60 or 70. That's a sustained margin which is decided by the top management, that the cost of production to MRP, the margin need to be 30, 40 or 50, whatever, as per the sales plan or as per the budget of the company. Basis that, the production manager will ensure that the goods are produced at that cost which has been decided, and he will also ensure that the stores are covered with the proper stocking to achieve the sales number. Well, the next important thing is marketing budget. This is the budget allocated to the marketing department for the financial year. So this type of budget takes care of all the marketing and promotional activities of the company for the customers. The ultimate aim of marketing is to assist the sales team to generate more business. The marketing budget for the year decides the number of activities to be done in one financial year. The activity involves a combination of events, promotion, and advertising in order to promote the product to the customer. So we are currently seeing, and I am sure that every one of us experience the kind of marketing which is happening around us in terms of event, promotion or advertisement. There are a lot of advertisement you will see which highlights the product just to get the eyeball of the customer to the advertisement, and so that they can come to the store. And to the prime objective of any marketing budget is to drive the footfall to the store, so that the sales budget can be achieved. So that's the prime reason why the marketing budget is created. So there are a lot of marketing events are happening, event like a fashion show or a high tea. Right now we are also seeing that malls are doing a lot of offers where they are asking brands to participate. So basis all this marketing events, if you see, the prime objective of doing this is all to increase the footfall, how you can be different from the rest. So marketing does that for you, because there are a lot of brands which are selling similar looking product. only differentiator which can create is marketing. The kind of marketing you are doing for a product, the kind of marketing you are doing to sell yourself is really what matters. And the more impactful the marketing is, you are you can expect that the customer will be coming to your store. So that's the beauty and that's the power of marketing. So if it's utilized properly, then it can do wonders for you. Next come technological budget. So when we talk about the budget, we can't miss out on the technological aspect, because any company who is not equipped well with the technology part, it's very difficult for them to survive in this market, because right now everything is automated. If you are selling something, if you have product requirement, it automatically need to flow to the backend team so that they can support real time, or there are other parameters as well. So you need to have a good software which connect front end and the back end both, so that there is no lag, and the customer gets the product on time, or any other requirement which a store have can be delivered within the specific time frame with the proper software. Next is CRM. CRM again as a part of technology, because right now, just to provide a customer loyalty program or something, people are using different kind of tech-based thing. It can be loyalty card or any other program which involves a lot of technological aspect, just to get the eyes of the customer towards your respective brands. Other very important thing which we cannot ignore while making a budget is the fixed expense. Of course, you can't do much about it, because these are the expenses which are fixed. So when you are planning your complete financial year budget, you need to keep in mind that you have a fixed rent, electricity, salary, tax, and insurance cost. So basis this only, you make your complete financial budget, so that you achieve that number, and after paying all the fixed expenses and the production cost, marketing and technological budget, you are left with the amount which we say as a profit for the company. Now, how do you make your sales budget? We have, or you must have often seen that you are getting a target from your regional or the operations team. This is the target for the month which you need to achieve. So what's the logic? How do we arrive at a certain number that this store has a potential of doing this number? So there are three different ways, primarily two, I would say. First is you have the historical data of the store. Based on historical data, you know that how the store performs. Now historically, different region will perform differently, like north will perform different in particular festive or particular month, south will perform different in maybe Pongal, east will perform differently in Durga Puja. So demographically, you see there are a lot of historical data which will tell you like what month you should take what target based on the historical and how the store has performed previously. So that's about relying on your historical number and forecasting a budget for the coming month. Now there are other important thing is, suppose a store doesn't have any historical data, or say suppose your company is new to the market, so you don't know what kind of budgets you are going to take. So now we will be, for such case, it will be complete forecasting, because you can't guess a exact budget, which the store would be doing. So for that, you would be taking a different tool of forecasting. So just to give an example, I have made these two cases which I would like to explain here. So what are the different parameters which you can consider as a store manager or a area or operation manager when you are making a target for a store which is new, okay, or a company which has just came into the market? So for example, if you look at the case one, so I've taken a store which area of 1000 square feet just for a reference. So the first thing I would plan is what kind of expected footfall I am planning. So of course, since you are in a market, you know what kind of traffics are coming in the mall, or if your stores are on high street, what kind of traffics you are expecting. So you need to have a footfall picture in your mind, what kind of footfalls you are expecting per day. So in this case, I have taken a footfall of 80. Say 80 people are coming per day to the store. Now what kind of expected conversion you are expecting? So typically you will see on EBO generates 45-50% of the conversion, or EBO generates 25-30, which is a good footfall situation. This number you can tweak basis what kind of market you are operating into, So typically high street might have a higher conversion compared to the store which is in mall. So just for a calculation perspective, I have taken a 15% conversion. Now if you are converting 15% customer, then of course you have converted 12 customer. So you have convinced 12 customer to shop from your store. Now decide on the ASP, what kind of ASP the store is going to generate. That again depend upon the demographical area or the store grading. A door might be having a good ASP than a C door, so you need to guess on the ASP part. Next comes the UPT. What kind of UPT, unit per transaction, that you are expecting from in the store. Again, this also depends on the demographical part only, because A grade store typically might have 2.5 or 3 UPT, then the C grade store. So just for a calculation, I have taken 1.5 as an UPT. So when you multiply 2800 ASP with your UPT of 1.5, you will get an expected sales per day, which is 50,000. Now multiplied with 30, you will get an expected sales per month. So with this calculation, this particular store is going to deliver 15 lakhs per month. So you can tweak this number, you can tweak the footfall, you can tweak conversion, ASP and UPT, so that you get an approx idea that how much the store has a potential to do. So that's a case 1. Case 2 typically talks about a format, an MBO format, where you have a different brands in your store. Now what happens with an MBO format, being an MBO, the important aspect that you always need to analyze all the brand performance. So any brand which are not performing good, you need to cut the tail, because you need to provide that space to other brands, because every inch or every square feet in an MBO format is very important to trade the business. So in this case, the example which I've taken a brand, I've taken the area, I've taken PSPD. PSPD is per square feet per day. So what kind of how much rupees per square foot per day a particular brand is going to generate for you. So typically in a retail, 45-50 is a standard PSPD or a good PSPD to have. Now when you talk about brand wise, a good brand might give you a higher PSPD than an average or the low performing brand. So in this case, I have taken an example that we have a 5 brand A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Now area I have taken that we have allotted equal area to all these brands, 200 square feet. Now PSPD I am plugging as a forecasting or as a guess that A being a very good brand will give me an PSPD of 65 rupees per day, and B 55, 45C, 45D and 40D. Now when you multiply your PSPD with your square feet, then you will get your expected monthly sale. Okay. So if you see, if I do calculation this way, then this particular store is giving me 15 lakh rupees per month sale. So this is 2 cases which I have taken a reference. You can tweak the number. What as an exercise, what you can do, you can go back to your store. You probably try to plug in the numbers and validate how close this you get a target, and what exactly revenues you're generating right now, to get a picture. So basis your demographic and basis the brand mix you have, basis the brand portfolio, or luxury brand, premium brand, or a mass brand, you can tweak this number and just see what kind of target which this calculation is showing, and what kind of revenues you are actually generating. Okay, so do, and to let me know if you have any more question regarding budget. I think in my next video I will try to cover detail of budget, where I would be explaining you how a complete financial year budgets are made, not the marketing and the production, but just the sales revenue part of it. What all parameters do you consider, and how do you analyze your historical data to arrive at certain number? How do you forecast that basis this what historical data, what kind of forecasting you will do for the upcoming year? So I will try to touch base on those numbers. For anything else, you can always post your question in the comment box, or mail me. I will try to answer as much as I can. And do not forget to like, subscribe and comment. Take care. Happy retailing.